today we're joined by Phil Mishler, and he is of Allstate. Allstate has really rocked the world in terms of their short-term offerings and their ancillary products. And let me just, again, I'm kind of struggling with some of this technology a little bit. And then I just want to flip through these screens real quick in the presentation mode. Allstate short-term and ancillary products today. And you know the drill. If you got a question, you'll put those in the question box. I'm going to monitor these throughout the presentation. I'll jump in with these questions, and we'll ask Phil to provide some insight. This is the dynamic duo of the individual market here in Ohio. I am covering the entire state. I'm, actually business development manager. We need to update that slide, but I'm business development manager for Cornerstone for the entire state, plus the surrounding states, Michigan, Indiana, Kentucky, and more. And individual specialist Carla Wintry, I believe she's on the call today, and she helps in the back office realm and does such a great job in terms of billing issues, tracking down issues with commissions or claims or whatnot, everything that kind of keeps the gears working here at the individual market. Brad Petrello, you're probably wondering why is he not joining us. Brad has taken a position elsewhere. I think he's with the Cornerstone senior team up in in Columbus. Yeah. So we wish the best for Brad, but once again, I am covering the entire state, and we're doing this 20 years, and we're looking for a great fall for everybody and sharing all the knowledge that we have. So with that, I'm going to put this over to Phil, and Phil can you share your screen, Phil?
Can you see it?
Yes, I can see it. That'd be great.
Good.
Fantastic. And let me just check in on the Q&A real quick. Loud and clear, Jennifer. Thank you so much. Oh, Jennifer, we love you. Okay, thank you. So take it away, Phil.
All right. Well, good morning. Thank you all for being here. Thanks to Jeff and Jake. I appreciate you setting this up. I just wanted to thank the agents. I can see some of the people on the call. I recognize the names. Thank you so much for your business. I'm going to be giving you some new information today, reiterating some other things we've had for a while. And hopefully you're going to leave today with a couple ideas and some new knowledge, and we can try and survive open enrollment together. So here we go. If you have a question, please put it in the chat. This is my team. For most of you, you're familiar with the team here. We in addition to myself, we have Nancy Vandervelde. She's housed in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm sure many of you on the phone talk with Nancy on a frequent basis. She gets more compliments than anyone I've ever worked with. Brittany Harris is our representative in the South. Jen Pasquale is the head of our senior products. We have a very robust suite of senior products still. Not really here to talk about them today, but we may just see what's available. And then Tabitha Jackson, she's a problem solver for in-force business and commission questions. So, so we like to think of ourselves as all things individual. So our flagship product is obviously the short-term medical, but the other part of today's presentation is just talking about some of these other products that we think we have a lot of room to grow with and have more agents talking about them. We have a new relationship with Health Sherpa that I'm going to touch on today that's going to make quoting the supplemental products and enrolling them a little bit easier. And then you can see at the bottom our senior products. What's new in the senior world is we have a cancer-only product, and we've retooled our senior indemnity. There's two options now. There's the options we have now that are simplify issue, but we've just come out with a suite of guarantee issue senior indemnity plans. Kind of fits well with Medicare Advantage plan. All right. So there's a lot changing, as you folks know. Some of the changes we don't even know about yet, but this is a list of some of the things that you folks are going to be dealing with if you're pursuing the ACA individual market. What we expect is the enhanced subsidies are likely to go away. It's not final yet, but there will be people staring across, across your desk saying, I cannot afford to pay $2,800 a month for my family's health insurance. So we think we have some solutions. We can't help everybody. What we really think is going to happen, and you folks can read this screen, I don't need to read it to you, but what we think is going to happen is there's a whole bunch of people who are going to wake up next year and find themselves on a bronze plan. And my understanding is the bronze plan is a $10,600 out of pocket. So that's a lot of ground to cover for most people that couldn't find $1,000 in an emergency. All right. So 3-year short terms are back in many places. For those of you sitting in Ohio, we still offer coverage up to 2 years, and your customer is going to know what both years' premiums are at the time of service. In the middle here in the middle in orange, I wanted to talk to you about what we call Recuro. So Recuro is an add-on drug rider that we're currently using on our fixed indemnity plan. And Recuro is super cool because Recuro gives your customer a zero copay for 800 different medications, 800 different generic medications. There's a $10 upcharge to take advantage of it, but it does several things. Number one, it gives your customer the zero copay up to $50 a fill, free virtual urgent care. And the other thing that Recuro does is Recuro does not have a pre-existing conditions limitation. And what that means is you could enroll a customer on the short-term medical, and obviously pre-existing conditions are excluded on a multi-year policy. Pre-existing conditions are excluded in the first 12 months, considered for coverage in the second 12-month period. But Recuro doesn't have that pre-existing condition limitation. So you could enroll somebody if it was a good fit who had high blood pressure. The high blood pressure is going to be excluded in the first 12 months of a multi-year policy. But that person can pick up their blood pressure medications from day one if they buy up to the Recuro RX benefit. The other thing that's important to note is even if you're enrolling a single person in a family, the whole family gets to use that benefit regardless of whether they have our short-term medical or not. So that's going to launch in the next couple of weeks, and you can check it out for yourself in the quoting software. All right, let's continue. So if you are brand new to short-term medical, the thing that you need to know is only a fit for about 50% of the people you run into because it doesn't cover pre-existing conditions. So if you're new, it's like a rental car. It's going to get you from here to here. Your customer has a heart attack. They God forbid, they get diagnosed with cancer. That's where the short-term medical really shines. So the best fit customer is on the left. That's going to be someone that raises their hand and says, hey, I'm paying too much and I never use it, right? That's when you ring the bell. And these are folks that would keep the premium savings in their pocket. They might have to pay it back in the form of their out of pocket if they have to use the plan. Not fit customers on the right. And what I always like to say is if you're all balled up about it and you're really not sure if it's a good fit, if it's gray, go ACA. And then you don't have worries. You put the right person in these plans and you're going to have a great outcome. It's a lifesaver for the right person. So all of our plans cover office visits. All of our plans cover unlimited urgent care visits. Come next month, we'll have multiple prescription options, and we do offer next day effective dates. For those of you who are new, if you choose a next day effective date, there's a 7-day wait for sickness benefits to kick in. And conversely, if you push the effective date out 8 days or more into the future, there is no waiting period for sickness. So we have several different plan designs. Let's take a closer look. This does not represent all of the deductible and coinsurance options that you may see when you're running a quote, because it varies a little bit by state. So we call these plans our copay enhanced plans. And I think that somebody would look at these if they were most comfortable with a $5 million maximum, which you see here on the right. The copay enhanced does have copays. As you folks can see, it's $40 primary, $60 specialist copay. But what's important to note is that the copays on a policy lasting 6 months or longer, the copays, the customer only gets to enjoy the copay twice per policy period, per member in the family. So it's not like they have unlimited copays. And that's why I was saying I think it's more of a play for people who want a higher maximum. But the enhanced copay plan does come with a true $10 generic drug card. The drug card does cover pre-existing conditions, even though it's excluded under the medical plan. This is where, I guess this is what I would say is this is where the smartest money is in our enhanced series. So these plans all have $1 million maximum. We still offer quite a low deductible, $2,500 or $5,000 at 100% coverage thereafter. And of course, we also, as you can see toward the bottom, we also have very high deductibles with 100% coverage thereafter. Or if you're trying to pull the rate down, you could certainly consider deductible and coinsurance, either 80/20 or 50/50. It is important to note that the 80/20 and the 50/50 coinsurance have the exact same out of pocket. So don't be afraid of the 50/50 coinsurance if you're trying to pull the rate down for a customer. We do have a guarantee issue short-term medical. It's not in every state, but if you work multiple states, you may run into an opportunity for this. And the guarantee issue plan is really for people who wake up in July, they haven't had a life event, and they have diabetes and they're trying to get health insurance. So possibly, a couple of times a year, you may run into somebody like this. So it is guarantee issue, meaning we don't ask health history questions, but the plan does not cover pre-existing, and the guarantee issue is not part of our multi-year product offering. So as I mentioned earlier, doctor visits are either subject to the copay if your customer buys the copay, 2 per policy period per family member. If they don't pick that option and they go with one of those enhanced plans that I was talking about, the office visit is going to go to deductible and coinsurance. But if your customer's in the Aetna network and a non-specialist, they could expect to pay around $70. So it's only $30 more than the primary copay on the copay plan. And the enhanced plans are less expensive and sometimes lower out of pocket.
Phil, can I jump in real quick?
Yes, sir.
I was out playing around on the site yesterday doing a quote, and I see 2 networks out there. I see Aetna and I do see Cigna.
Yes. So I generally only talk about Aetna because Aetna has a better price point, and Aetna is, in my opinion, is the richer network in the eastern part of the United States. We have Cigna turned on for service. It's a few dollars more in premium, and it's more effective when you're in the West Coast, going towards the West Coast United States.
Oh, thanks for the insight. Thank you.
All right. So in urgent care, it's unlimited visits at $50 a piece. The $50 is to walk in the door and get diagnosed. If they're running expensive lab work, CT scan, MRI, those charges are going to go to the applicable coinsurance, bypassing the deductible. Okay, you see the emergency room here. It's more of a penalty than a benefit. If your client finds themselves at the hospital and they're not admitted, they're going to owe $250 plus their applicable deductible and coinsurance. Diagnostic X-ray and lab, subject to deductible and coinsurance. So speaking of the network, here it goes. So for those of you here, this is the strongest part of our short-term medical plan. So what you get with the short-term medical using the Aetna network is every major hospital in America, including Sloan Kettering, Johns Hopkins, Cleveland Clinic, Mayo Clinic, MD Anderson in Texas, which is the nation's premier cancer hospital. It would be hard to find providers that don't participate with the Aetna Open Choice Network. Please don't take my word for it. This very long web address is right here at the bottom. Or when I run a sample quote in a few minutes, I'll show you where the link is, where you just click on a button and it'll take you to this website. All right. So this will probably make more sense when I'm running a quote, but let's delve into what we have here. So internally, we call plans that last up to 3 years renewable plans. So the hallmarks of renewable plans are number one, you can, if the customer pays more money, guarantee the rate for up to 3 years if you're in a state that offers renewable plans, or the customer can guarantee the first year rate and guarantee their insurability for years 2 and 3, but they're not going to know what year 2 and 3's premium is going to be at the time of application. Then we have consecutive plans, which we have in Ohio. So in Ohio, with consecutive plans, your customer gets up to 2 years. We highly recommend that you time a multi-year short-term plan to end at the end of the year. In the event in the future your customer might need to jump onto an ACA plan for one reason or another, that's really what we suggest, so that they don't run out of coverage mid-year and they're scrambling around trying to figure out what they're going to do to get to open enrollment. The consecutive plans differ from the renewable plans in so much as the coverage period maximum resets between the 2 years plans. So if you buy what I'm recommending, if your customer purchases what I'm recommending, which is the enhanced plans, that $1 million maximum resets itself in that second policy, in the second year of the policy. And the hallmark of consecutive plans, which is awesome, is that your customer is going to know what the first year and the second year premium is going to be at the time of application. The second year premium can vary by a little bit. It's not a lot. I'll show you when I run a sample quote. And then in the far right here, it's talking about pre-existing conditions. I mentioned this earlier. If you're in Ohio and you promote a 2-year consecutive plan, the pre-existing condition limitation drops off in the second year. So we'll use myself as an example. I'll share my personal health history with you. I have psoriasis. And so if I bought a 2-year consecutive plan, first year psoriasis not covered. Second year covered, subject to the limitations of the policy. Okay. In most states, and including Ohio, we do force your customer to join what we call our life association in order to get the short-term medical. There's several things to point out here. One is the life association membership comes with a lot of benefits, and you can see some of them here. The 4 most important items that you're looking at here is this is where your customer gets an outpatient discount prescription drug card. It works very similar to GoodRx, but it does not cover pre-existing conditions. The second benefit here is this is where they get a telemedicine benefit that's free to use, unlimited consultations at no additional charge. Then you'll see in the lower left, we also offer Active and Fit. Active and Fit allows your customer to join fitness centers across the country. One fitness centers you've heard of, but I just did want to say the price did change recently, and it's an additional $28, not $25 you see here. And then the last thing that is included that I feel is worth mentioning is the customer also gets Allstate identity protection. I don't really have to tell you folks how dangerous a world it is today with your personal information on the internet. The last thing you need to know about the Life Association, especially if you're new, is it does not automatically terminate when the short-term medical expires. Your customer needs to call us specifically and cancel this. If you forget to tell your customer this, I promise you're going to have an angry phone call 9 months after the short term runs out, because that's generally how long it takes people to realize. We charge $15 a month for the association that we force your customer to join. So if they don't want to enjoy these 4 benefits plus these other discounts, they just need to separately cancel it. I think you get what I'm saying. And if you've ever written the product and forgot, I know you know what I'm saying. All right. So if you work multiple states, this is a map of the new footprint map of policy term lengths. So just to quickly run through this, any state that's dark blue is coverage up to 3 years. Then we have these, I guess Ohio and Kansas are considered like a light blue, and that's policies up to 2 years, the consecutive policies. Red states have a very harsh limit. In Virginia, it's 6. You can only get 6 months in a 12-month period. Yellow, and I don't know if any of you folks worked yellow states, but yellow states are going to stick with what we've been experiencing over the last year, which is policies up to 4 months. North Carolina is going to stick at 4 months. We believe Texas is going to go to we can put together a solution for a 12-month policy sometime between now and open enrollment. Gray states, we have no problem. And it might be significant to you folks because Illinois just made short-term medical illegal. So that's why Illinois is gray. All right. So for those of you who don't know, we actually offer child-only policies for the short-term medical. So if you find yourself this season having to break up a family using the individual ACA plans, maybe you have to put the parents on an ACA plan because they have like ongoing medical conditions, you could consider putting the children on our plan as long they just have to be over 60 days old, and we would issue a child-only policy. I forgot to mention something, and it's better than some of our competitors, and it's totally off subject. Our short-term medical plan pays level commissions all years during the policy. It doesn't step down in the second year like some of our competitors do.
That's great.
Yes. We cover dependent children through age 25, just like an ACA plan. We don't have a complicated height weight chart. We simply won't take males over 300 or females over 250. If you're in a state where you have guarantee issue, that might still be an option. Here are the health history questions. There's only 4. You can't screw it up because if you check yes, it's going to say stop the application. So your customer has to check no to these health history questions. The first one is anyone pregnant or an expectant father? Please don't call me and say, hey, the wife's pregnant, but she's not enrolling. We just want to cover the husband. We just can't do it. Second one here is AIDS or HIV. And then the third one just says, hey, did your doctor tell you that you need surgery or testing that you haven't completed yet? We can't take that. And then this is the big one. Okay, so the big one is the big question is going to knock out people who have serious heart history, cancer history, and if you think about it, like take a step back, none of these conditions are a good fit for short-term medical because we don't cover pre-existing, certainly in the first year of a multi-year or never in a policy 12 months or less. The things that screw people up here, trip people up is diabetes. We're just not going to take any diagnosis that has the word diabetes in it. So pre-diabetes, full-blown diabetes, gestational diabetes, just in the last 5 years, if you have anything with we can't take it. The other one that trips people up is this neck and back disorder or joint replacement. Sometimes customers forget they had a joint replaced. They did such a good job, they forgot they got it replaced. So you want to, this fourth question, you just take your time, make sure customers, digging deep in their brain. All right. So we do offer preferred rates. So preferred rates save your customer 20%, and they have to answer these questions. So let's take a look at the preferred questions. So in order to be preferred and save the 20%, your customer has to have had coverage any type of health coverage, 9 out of the last 12 months. We don't ask for proof, and anything counts. So if your customer says, I had a religious sharing plan, that's great. Check that question, yes. But then you have to check everything else, no. So can't use tobacco last 12 months, no DUI or moving violation last 2 years, can't own or lease a motorcycle, and they can't be taking prescribed medication for high blood pressure, cholesterol, anxiety, depression in the last 5 years. And then there's a separate height weight chart, or I'm sorry, height weight limitation that you can see in the lower right. We do run an RX check after you click the submit button. And while it's very rare, your customer is not a guarantee that they're going to get preferred rates. So if I was you, my best suggestion, if you're quoting preferred rates for the customer, is you tell the customer, we're going to apply for this. They do run an RX check. I'm not 100% sure you're going to get this, but we're going to give it a try. That way, if in the very small chance that they do get offered standard, you're not trying to resell it after the fact. I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. All right. So,
Hey, Phil,
yes.
real quick, back on those underwriting questions, on the next slide back. Yeah.
Like this one? Okay.
Yeah, the cancer, tumor, lump, or mass. I've actually had this come up twice since selling your guys' plans, and I've called Nancy on it.
Yes.
Skin cancer, the basal cell skin cancer, we can answer no on that question, correct? Because I've had two separate occurrences where that had come up, and just wanted to, I think that's a fairly common thing that people run into. So you can't answer no on that.
Right. So it's tricky. And Jake, you got a good point there, is if you're not sure, you can always call. That one it's somewhat gray, right? But if it's full blown gray and you're just like, look, I don't know. Another thing actually just reminded me of one other thing that happens almost every day is I'll get a call from an agent that says, hey, they had invasive cancer. So other than skin cancer. My customer had invasive cancer and they were they're no longer in treatment. Typically with like heart and cancer history, those folks have follow-up appointments for the rest of their lives. So the 5 years, the way the 5 years works is 5 years is when the doctor says, never come back here. You are released from care. There's no more follow-ups. As long as that is over 5 years ago, hopefully that makes sense to you. So you can't have finished cancer treatment 5.5 years ago, but still go for follow-ups. Those follow-ups still fall within this, and you would not be eligible. All right. Hopefully that makes sense. All right. So we talked about the RX check. We talked about the preferred rates. On this slide, all this slide is saying is only the adult primary applicants are able to get preferred. It doesn't apply to dependent children or child-only policies. Okay, so if you are new to short-term medical, this is for you. These plans do not line up with the exclusions in an ACA plan. Okay, so there are going to be quite a few exclusions and limitations on a short-term medical that you're not going to find in an ACA plan. And this is again just for new folks. I think it's helpful if you're taking someone from an ACA plan and putting them on short-term medical, which is going to happen thousands of times during the open enrollment period, not just in our territory, but across the country. If someone's coming off an ACA plan, it's worthwhile to let them know what to expect at claim time. So, and you folks know this, the way the ACA claims work is any claim that I send in on an ACA plan is going to be covered unless, for example, it's cosmetic surgery. Okay. They don't ask questions. They just process the claim and that's it. On our short-term medical product, we don't cover pre-existing conditions. So frequently when your customer notifies us that they've had a claim, we're actually going to write for doctor records. And so the key is you want to tell your customer this so that your phone's not ringing weeks after their claim saying it's not paid yet, right? It's important. Customers don't like surprises. And what I found in years of doing this, agents don't like surprises. So I'm telling you today. All right, so there's two ways to pay in the lower right-hand corner. One is electronic funds transfer out of the checking or savings account, and also credit card. We offer any day effective dates. The only things you need to be aware of is that the initial payment has to be made before the effective date. It could be 1 day before the effective date. And that's important because sometimes customer doesn't want to double pay. We use the ACA as an example. If they have an ACA plan now, they're trying to avoid paying the ACA and then paying their first month's premium with us. So we're very flexible with the initial draft and then reoccurring drafts. So I'll just give you a quick example. Let's say I enroll a customer for an October 2nd effective date. When their second premium payment is due, we draft 5 days before their second month. So and we refer to it internally as your month anniversary. So if your month anniversary is on the 2nd of every month, we're going to draft 5 days before that. All right, you're all payment experts. Okay, we have a public-facing website. It's here at the bottom, allstatehealth.com. It matters to you because if you click agents and brokers at the top and scroll down a little bit, it's all of our marketing materials. It's all of our brochures, marketing flyers, and it's broken down by state. So it's a very helpful place if you're looking for something that you can't find on the quoting website. Also helpful for existing customers. Existing customers click here at the top middle, and they can download a claim form for any of our products with the exception of short-term medical and limited benefit plan. All right. So everything I'm about to talk to you about, all of these products stand alone. I think some of it will make more sense when I run a quoting example, but if you write ACA, individual health insurance, this is your time to pay attention because the Plan Enhancer is an excellent attachment product. And I'll tell you why. The reason it makes it the ultimate attachment product to an ACA plan is, or any health insurance, is it's all guarantee issue. It's an accident plan with a cancer, heart, stroke rider and a sickness hospitalization rider. So it solves 3 different problems that customers can run into, right? Like I always like to try and get the customer to share their greatest fear. Like, what's your greatest fear, Jeff? My greatest fear is I'm going to get admitted to the hospital and owe $10,600. So that's what this plan helps with. So this is available in Ohio. Ohio has some limits on what the maximum benefit is, and we'll take a look at that in a minute. But in most states, the customer gets anywhere from $2,500 to $17,500 per accident, with a maximum of 2 accidents per year. And then they have the option of, I'm going to need to explain what these acronyms are, right? We can't have jargon that people don't immediately understand. AME simply stands for accident medical expense. CHS stands for cancer, heart, stroke. And SIP stands for sickness, hospitalization. So let's take a closer look.
That's strong.
So, let's pretend I'm the customer. I pick an accident face amount. Let's say I pick $5,000. If I choose the cancer, heart, stroke rider, I'm eligible to receive $5,000 upon diagnosis of cancer or heart stroke. There's waiting periods at the bottom, and that's how we are able to make a guarantee issue. So it's a good way for somebody to get a critical illness benefit without answering health history questions. All right. Also comes with a sickness hospitalization rider. So again, in my scenario where I bought a $5,000 accident benefit, once per year, if I'm sick or hospitalized, Allstate Health gives me $5,000. The 2 riders don't stand alone. It doesn't cover pre-existing conditions, but if your customer breathes air and they have a credit card, they can purchase this product. Here are the approved states. And again, we're going to take a real close look at it in the quoting software and be able to drill down. Jeff, was there a question?
No, we love Kentucky, but Kentucky's one of those states that we're still waiting on.
Yeah. Now, the good news is we have other, accident plans approved in Kentucky. So it's not like game over. It's just they just don't have the plan enhancer.
Okay.
All right. So we also sell cancer and heart stroke standalone. So you don't have to buy our short-term medical. You could come in and just help somebody with this cancer or heart stroke. So look, you're going to sit across the desk from people this open enrollment period that have family histories of cancer and heart and stroke. And we're going to talk a little bit about the end about how to start that conversation, but it never hurts to ask a simple question. Hey, Jeff, who's your critical illness policy with, right? And now Jeff's a smart guy, he probably has one, but let's say he didn't have one, right? It starts a conversation. It's super easy to do. Okay, so let's take a closer look at cancer, heart, and stroke. So just like the rider on the plan enhancer, is it covers initial diagnosis only. So if your customer comes to us and they had a history of cancer, they can still receive a benefit for heart attack or stroke. And this has coverage up to $75,000, and the two lowest levels are actually, we just changed it to be guarantee issue. So let's take a look. So yeah, so you can get up to $30,000 of cancer, heart, and stroke coverage without any health questions. If you want a higher face amount, you're going to have to answer a couple of questions. All right, so here is the state footprint for cancer and heart stroke. Just know that some of these gray states have our full-blown critical illness product, which Ohio does not have. But so it's we'll have quite a bit of supplements regardless of whether it's Ohio or it's Kentucky or a state that touches Ohio. Okay, so here's another product, hospital expense protection. This is for someone who tells you the only time I ever see myself using the health insurance is if I'm admitted to the hospital. So here's what we got. We have what we call base plans on the left, max plans on the right. I always like to start with the richest plan. I can always work my way backwards. So if you were my customer, I would say, and you have that fear of going to the hospital and having to hit your $10,000, it's $10,600 bronze out of pocket, I would recommend Plan C. So if I buy Plan C, I get $5,000 once per year if I'm hurt or sick and hospitalized. So it's sick or hurt. Plus I get $150 a day for the first 10 days. And you can see there's lower priced options here if you took a Plan A or Plan B. And then the max plans pay a little bit less generally than the base plans, but they have some other features that we're going to see in a second. So a couple things to point out here. Typically, these type of plans do not pay unless you are hospitalized. But with our plan, we actually give, and again, if you were to promote Plan C, and this happens frequently, is I go to the hospital, I'm not admitted, I'm in under observation. So if I bought Plan C and I'm in an observation in the hospital, I'm going to get $2,500. And then you can see on the right, the max plans reimburse additional monies for office visits, urgent care, observation, x-ray, and lab. So it really just depends on what your customer's needs are. Like I mentioned earlier, there's going to be a lot of people who wake up in 2026, they're on a bronze plan, right? And then I read in the news the other day, the administration is going to allow people to buy copper plans, right? And copper plans, I don't know a lot about them, but my guess is they're promoting them because they're less expensive, and less expensive means higher out-of-pocket costs. Okay, and so these are the final slide of benefits for hospital expense protection. I think the one that's worth mentioning is the one in the middle here, air ambulance. So all of these plans cover up to $25,000 in air ambulance. If you've ever had a loved one or someone take a ride in a helicopter for medical reasons, 25,000 might not even cover the whole trip. Okay. And then this is the state availability grid for hospital expense protection plus, available in Ohio, and it's available to our friends in Kentucky. All right. So let's take a look at how this all goes together in a quote. So I did mention that, let me make this screen bigger. There we go. All right. So I did mention you could do any effective date. I'm just doing 10/1. Oops. All right. Oops. All right. And so we're going to do a single female is 38 years old. All right. And so here on the left is our navigation menu. So what you're going to notice here is that the first screen, that the first product is actually our fixed benefit indemnity plan. Not here to talk about it today, but just a quick overview. It's called Access. It gives permanent health insurance coverage till your customer turns 65. It does have some limits, but it's hard to find a plan that will cover straight through to age 65. Typically doesn't have rate increases. If you're going to promote this plan, though, it's definitely requires you to sell additional product around it to create a circle of protection. So here's a hospital expense protection plan that I talked about. So Plan C, remember the one that gives the customer $5,000 once per year if they're hurt or sick and hospitalized? And this is where I could add that. But as we go down here, since the short-term medical is the thing I spent the most time talking about, let's take a closer look at it. So first thing you're going to notice is that it's asking me these preferred rating questions. So we're going to check yes that the customer had prior coverage 9 in the last 12 months. You may not know what your customer's height and weight is unless you asked, right? And sometimes it's awkward to do that. So if you're running a quote, I'm just putting in a height and weight that I believe is normal height and weight. There is a rewrite button here. This is important. If you ever have a customer who's been with us before, even if they have a break of 6 months, their coverage ended 2 years ago and they're reapplying, always hit this yes button if it's a rewrite, because it does two things. One, it lets us know the customer's a returning customer, and two, it waives the $35 one-time enrollment fee. So if you don't click that button, we won't know that's a returning customer. So at this point, I can choose to view standard rates. Like if I know my customer's not going to make preferred, I can just go right to standard, or I can answer a couple more questions. So no, I don't release a motorcycle, no DUI or moving violation, and then no to the high blood pressure, cholesterol, anxiety, or depression. We run an RX check on this, specifically looking for those meds that I mentioned earlier. Occasionally they get kicked out, but in this case, it looks like the customer is going to qualify for preferred. So here in the middle, most of the time agents are clicking on, most customers want to pay monthly. I did want to let you know, though, that if your customer wants to pay a single payment for coverage lasting up to 12 months, because the single pay, it's not part of our multi-year guarantee. If the customer chooses single payment, policies lasting 12 months or less, they're going to save another 20%. So if I was preferred and I pay annual, I'm saving 40%. We will issue prorated refunds. So if your customer buys 12 months of coverage, they get a job in 2 months, they can call us and cancel, and we'll actually send them their unused money back. Okay, so we're here in the middle. It's monthly. As I mentioned earlier, in Ohio, your choices are a really small amount of months if you're trying to just cover someone who's between jobs, or you can take the 2 12-month policies. So I go ahead and I choose 2 12-month policies. I'm going to scroll down, and for today's purposes, I'm just going to promote a $5,000 deductible 100% plan. It's $177 a month. I'm going to click add. And if you're one of those people who forgets to talk about supplemental coverages, this is your reminder. So we have a no-wait dental plan that we call Select. I'm going to skip this now, but so it's hard to screw it up and forget to talk to your customer about these other coverages because it's right here in your face. All right, so you can see here in the cart, this is referencing that $35 one-time enrollment fee. This is $177, so it's the same as this price here as it is at the top of the cart. But at the bottom of the cart, we break out the $15 association fee separate from the short-term medical. And what you'll notice is the first year's premium is $162.40. And the second year premium is approximately $15 more, but you're going to know it when your customer enrolls. Okay. So that's how you would get the product in the cart. This is the copay enhanced. As you can see, what I was telling you earlier is this plan is more expensive. It's more expensive than the plan that I chose for this customer, and it's a higher out of pocket. All right. And then we have the Essentials plan. Just a quick word on Essentials. I'd avoid it. It's got a $250,000 maximum and a $15,000 outpatient services limit. So if you needed to get down and funky with the rate, I know this is $105 a month. I would go up here and I might do like a 7,500 and avoid having that $250,000 maximum. I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. So, and then there's all these things that we can add to the short term, or we could sell standalone. So here are the 4 options in Ohio. I'm going to go ahead and click, because this person has a $5,000 out of pocket on the short term. I'm going to go ahead and add. Now this is the plan enhancer. I'm going to go ahead and add it. And then it's going to offer me the cancer, heart, stroke rider and the sickness hospitalization rider. I'm going to take them both at $21 and change. Now I'm creating that circle of protection for the customer. Okay. Now what you're going to notice here, because I know someone's going to ask me this question, I think if you take the $7,500 deductible or $7,500 accident benefit, oh, we must have fixed it. You used to not be able to get the riders on the 7,500. So, all right, they've definitely fixed it. So as you can see, this is a guarantee issue product. It provides 3 different benefits for the customer, and it's relatively inexpensive and it's guarantee issue. But let's pretend that you are in Kentucky and you want an accident plan. So this is a unique one. I'm just going to quickly describe it. TrioMed is an accident plan. See the AME, that's the accident piece. So your customer's getting $2,500, $5,000 or $10,000 of accident, and they're getting the equal amount of critical illness. That's where the CI comes in. So TrioMed is guarantee issue, accident, and critical illness coverage. So, and you can get that both in Ohio and you can get it in Kentucky. We got a lot of accident plans. You scroll down, we've got quite a few. All right. So that's what I wanted to show you. You can see the term life. You can see the cancer, heart, and stroke that we talked about. Now this, to be fair to all of you, this young lady's 38 years old. So obviously if you're quoting someone who's older, obviously these rates would be more. But what I wanted to do is take some of this stuff out of the cart. And I wanted to talk about our relationship with Health Sherpa. So let me get this stuff out. All right. So then we have a blank cart. So you'll see this tab here. It says Health on Exchange. So the way that this works is this. If you have an existing relationship with Health Sherpa, or you're intending to connect with Health Sherpa, you're able to do an ACA plan with a subsidy right here on our website with no redirect to healthcare.gov in the federal marketplace states, of which Ohio is one of them. And if my memory serves, Kentucky is not. So any place that any state that participates with the federal marketplace and you have a Health Sherpa account, you can come in here and do the ACA plan and enroll them in our supplements all in the same application. So here's how it works. You might be familiar with this. If you're a Health Sherpa user, we have to acknowledge we received the consent from the customer. And then we're going to do a single person, and this person makes $35,000 a year. As you are aware, the marketplace only goes in first of the month. So go ahead and click October. So we're pretending that this is a life event. And oh, it looks like you can do the 1st or the 15th. All right. And then I'm going to click Show Plans. Now, what this is going to do, it's going to think for a second, and it's going to give me my estimated subsidy, right? So here it says that this person's eligible for $363 a month, and they're eligible for a cost sharing reduction. Now, when I scroll down, this is every ACA plan in the state of Ohio. Okay. There's a lot of functionality here. So if I click show filters, and let's pretend that I'm only appointed with AM Better, Anthem, and Medical Mutual. So now it's only going to show me. Now, I'm sure if most of you are probably appointed with all of them. And I only want to see bronze plans because I know this person's in a bad spot. When I scroll down, it's going to give me just the plans that I asked for. Okay. I can compare multiple plans, right? So if they don't know what they want, I can do a comparison and we can look at the different plans that are available. I can click details. I can get an SBC here. I get a brochure here. But what we're going to do, just to get to my point, is we're going to click the add button. And it's going to remind you on the no wait dental, which I didn't take time to talk about today, but bottom line, it's a no wait dental. You can buy it today, use it tomorrow. It's the Aetna Dental Administrators Network, and we have a senior version that covers implants and dentures. So now you've got the ACA plan in the cart, and maybe you were paying attention. You're like, you know what? I'm going to take Phil Mishler's cue here, and I'm going to give this person a $10,000 accident benefit because the deductible on this whatever plan I picked here is $9,200. I'm going to take both riders. It's all guarantee issue. Done. And then all I do is click apply. Now, I don't know if this is going to work today. And I'm not going through the whole application, but I just wanted to click in here far enough for you to know that the first thing you're going to do is the subsidy application. Let me get out of this. And then once you're done with the subsidy application, and as I mentioned earlier, there's no redirect. I think I just cut the whole thing off. There's no redirect to healthcare.gov. It's all done here in our site. And then once the ACA plan is application's complete, it reverts you back to our website to complete the enrollment for the plan enhancer. So that's the message that I want to get across today. Jeff, are there any questions, any follow-up questions that folks had, or anything that you wanted me to go a little deeper in here?
I think you did a great job. You covered 10 pounds of potatoes in a 5-pound bag.
All in 1
Fantastic
hour.
job.
Yeah.
Jake's got to just cut out real quick. He's got a 10:30, but did a fantastic job there. I mean, the Sherpa integration is fantastic. I assume, and my big question, of course, is, will these ACA sales, will they show up on their normal Sherpa platform that they're traditionally viewing and have for?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay, it just seamlessly difference. Goes into your Sherpa account when you log in there. You saw the login. Question earlier was, are you able to provide us a copy of these slides?
Yes.
Okay, that's fantastic.
I will email that to you.
Yes, and then secondly, I wanted to point out in the Q&A section, we have some links to some of those materials that he sent out. So
yeah, and it's specifically, duration of short-term by state and how you would get involved to sign up, to how you would essentially connect your Health Sherpa to our system. It's you're literally capturing your Health Sherpa number and emailing it to us. It'd take you about a minute if you're a slow typer.
Great job. I mean, there's a lot there. Congratulations on getting that 12-month back for Ohio. That's massive. I can't tell you how massive that is.
It's very near and dear to my heart.
This is, folks aren't aware, this is going to be a tough year, and we're going to have to be throwing every option at our clients, giving them some alternatives.
Yeah.
I think that does.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Do you have any final thoughts?
Well, the only thing I wanted to say is I just hope that I gave it to you straight. that it's a fit for 50% of the folks. Give them a heads up on how claims work. If you follow those steps, and don't forget to talk about supplemental. It's really simple.
Absolutely.
Hey, Jeff, who's your dental with? Hey, Jeff, who's your hospital plan with? What are you talking about? Right. And just have a
And maybe
conversation.
just point out how expensive the ACA plans are to own.
Well, that's a good point, Jeff. Even if the
You can
agents
buy
on
one.
this call don't wind up connecting their health Sherpa with us for whatever reason, okay, you still get to do the ACA plan the way you've been doing it. And to go
Yeah.
into our system, our apps are 5 minutes of typing. Even if you're a slow typer, it's like, who are you? Where do you live?
Yeah.
How do you want to pay? And if there's health questions, you answer them. It's automatic issue. So
Yeah.
couldn't be easier. I wish you folks all good luck during the
Call
open
us.
enrollment period.
Any
Yep.
questions?
Lean on us. They pay us to help you. Don't be a stranger. Hit me up if you need more information to be comfortable.
Thanks, everybody. We'll call it a day. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye now.